Imagine a piece of technology so advanced
Oh boy.
that it just completely outpaces the cognitive limits of every single human being on Earth combined.
It's hard to even picture.
Right. I mean, think about a system that can synthesize information, solve impossible problems, and just iterate on its own intelligence faster than we can even process what's happening.
Yeah,
If a tool like that falls into the hands of a good person or is open to everyone, the world basically becomes a paradise.
curing diseases, fixing global logistics.
Exactly, leveling the playing field for humanity. But, and this is a massive spotlight, if that exact same technology falls into the hands of a greedy person,
Or a single profit-obsessed corporation.
then it could literally be the end of human freedom. The leverage they would hold over global economies is just unprecedented.
It is the ultimate double-edged sword. And the wild part is that this tension isn't science fiction anymore.
Not at all.
That balance of extreme risk versus extreme reward is the undercurrent of the reality we are living in right now. So we are unpacking the complex history between two tech giants you already know very well.
Sam Altman and Elon Musk.
Exactly. And we're examining how their massive ideological clash directly affects your everyday life, your job, and really the whole structural future of our economy.
We're doing a depth dive today into the history behind this billion-dollar bet, and our mission here is to explore how a genuinely noble quest to save humanity from AI.
Which it really was at the start.
Yeah, how that transformed into one of the most intense, high-stakes corporate dramas we've ever seen. We want to extract the essential lessons about adaptability and look at what this all means for your future.
And to really understand the gravity of where we are today, we need to wind the clock back to the starting line.
Let's do it.
Because the foundational ideals that brought these two very different figures together were actually quite pure, which honestly makes the subsequent collision with reality all the more compelling.
So let's take you back to 2015.
A different era.
It really was. Sam Altman and Elon Musk team up to start a company called OpenAI. And the absolute crucial detail here is that they established it as a non-profit organization.
Right.
Sam's original hero-like intention was to benefit humanity by giving AI to everyone for free. The whole nonprofit structure was a deliberate maneuver to prevent any single greedy entity from controlling it.
They wanted to build a shield.
Exactly. A shield against that exact dystopian monopoly scenario we just talked about.
What's fascinating here is how quickly those philanthropic ideals just slammed into a brick wall of financial reality.
Oh, yeah.
Building this caliber of AI is not like making a simple smartphone app or coding a website. They were essentially trying to build a digital god.
A digital god. It's a heavy phrase, but it's accurate. And as it turns out, manifesting a digital god requires an astronomical budget.
To say the least.
We have to look at the staggering numbers here. The computer costs alone just to train the AI models were running over $100 million a year.
I think we need to pause there and actually unpack what training means in this context.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because it illuminates why the bill is so insanely high. When we talk about training an AI, it's not like teaching a dog a trick.
Right.
It is more akin to forcing a computer network to ingest and process nearly every book, article, and website ever published. Ever.
The scale is just mind-boggling.
It is. The system has to map out the statistical relationships between every single concept. Doing that requires thousands of specialized computer chips running at maximum capacity, drawing immense power 24/7.
So that $100 million isn't just corporate overhead, it's raw computing power. And that's before we even talk about the human cost.
Oh, the talent.
Right.
Yeah.
To build a system this complex, you need the absolute top engineers on the planet. And securing them, it cost $1 million for each person.
$1 million
Annually.
per person.
See, this is where the underlying math of a nonprofit structure completely fractures. Simple donations were never going to be enough to sustain this.
No way. You rely on fundraising galas and grants to keep a nonprofit running. You cannot fundraise billions of dollars for a specialized technological race. So this massive financial pressure cooker directly set the stage for the ideological split.
Which brings us to the drama of 2018.
The ultimatum.
Yeah. The financial strain is obvious. Elon Musk decides he wants to take control. He essentially says, we need funding. I have Tesla. Let's merge OpenAI into Tesla.
From a purely logistical standpoint, you can see Elon's logic. Tesla had the capital and the computing infrastructure that OpenAI desperately needed just to survive.
Sure. But Sam Altman looks at the proposal and says, no.
He refuses to hand over control.
He just flat out rejects it.
Mhm.
Consequently, Elon walks away. He leaves the project entirely and pulls his massive financial support with him.
That departure is such a critical crossroads. Sam was suddenly left entirely alone.
With a massive burn rate.
Exactly. He had a massive choice.
Mm.
Give up the dream, shut down the servers, or find a completely new way to fund this digital god.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because in 2019, Sam makes a pivot that changes tech history.
They had to.
He realizes the nonprofit model is dead in the water. So he changes the rules and creates a for-profit branch of OpenAI.
Well, technically keeping a nonprofit board to oversee it.
Right, which becomes very important later. But suddenly, they can take in actual investment. And almost immediately, Microsoft steps in.
With a massive check.
A $10 billion check. Overnight, OpenAI turns from this struggling nonprofit into Microsoft's heavily funded secret weapon.
The reactions to this were incredibly polarized.
Mhm.
Impartially speaking, you had Elon angrily claiming that the company was no longer open at all.
Yeah, he was very vocal about that.
Very. Meanwhile, critics and the public started asking if Sam had just sold his soul for money.
But then others argue it was literally the only way to keep the project alive. If he didn't take the $10 billion, OpenAI would have died in 2019.
Exactly. It's a survival tactic. But patching that financial hole didn't resolve the underlying tension.
No, it just hit it.
Right. Because you now have a nonprofit board legally overseeing a high-octane billion-dollar tech company. That is a structural mismatch.
It was a ticking time bomb.
It really was.
And in 2023, that bomb detonated.
The boardroom coup.
Yeah. So we're in 2023, OpenAI is dominating everything, releasing tools that are changing the world. And then, with zero warning,
Over a weekend.
over a weekend, the OpenAI board fires Sam Altman.
Just unbelievable.
The CEO, the face of the revolution, ousted. Why did they do it?
Well, the board's motive was purely rooted in their original charter. They felt Sam was moving way too fast.
Prioritizing profit and products.
Yes. They were deeply, deeply worried about the safety of the AI they were building. They viewed the rush to deploy these tools as a fundamental liability to human safety.
So they exercised their legal power and fired him.
But they fundamentally misjudged where the real power was.
This is an incredible detail. The true power didn't lie with the legal board.
No.
It lived with the talent. Almost immediately, 700 employees threatened to quit and protest.
700 specialized engineers basically saying, if Sam goes, we all go.
And the actual value of the company walks out the door with them.
Precisely.
So the board is crippled. And the whiplash here is historic. Within just 5 days, Sam returns as the absolute winner.
5 days.
5 days. And the board members who hated the pursuit of profit, the ones who fired him over safety concerns, they were ousted.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is so telling. That 5-day saga proved that the drive for rapid progress, the corporate survival instinct, and billions in capital ultimately overpowered the original nonprofit safety mandate.
Safety lost to speed.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean? We've talked a lot about billionaires and boardrooms, but let's talk directly to you, the listener.
Why should they care?
Right. Because AI is actively going to change your job and your life. This isn't abstract anymore.
There's a stark warning embedded in all of this. Think about it. If OpenAI now only cares about profit and market dominance, the absolute best AI tools will logically be reserved exclusively for the rich.
It'll be a premium, expensive service.
Yes. And this threatens to create a massive inequality gap in the world. An intelligence gap, really.
Imagine trying to compete for a job or run a small business when your wealthy competitor has an AI that can do a week's worth of cognitive labor in seconds.
You can't compete. And this accelerates the massive job crisis we are facing. AI might take many, many jobs away entirely.
It's a scary thought, but Sam Altman actually acknowledges this. To solve the job crisis, he suggests we should transition to universal basic income.
Giving everyone free money to live.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
The idea is that AI creates so much wealth and productivity that we just distribute a baseline income to all humans so they can survive.
Which is a bold vision. But this raises an important question.
The ultimate question.
Who exactly is going to pay for this free money?
Right. Are we expecting corporations that just ousted their safety board for commercial speed to suddenly hand over all their profits to the public?
The logistics of funding universal basic income on a global scale are just entirely unresolved. It's a massive theoretical band-aid for a very immediate crisis.
It really is. But listen, amidst all this corporate chaos and these scary economic warnings, there is an incredible lesson here for you.
A masterclass, really.
It is the ultimate lesson in adaptability. There's a powerful quote from Sam Altman that perfectly sums this up. The biggest risk is not taking any risks.
It's so true. Look at his journey. He is not perfect, and his methods are fiercely debated. But his track record of turning a crisis into an opportunity speaks volumes.
Every single time.
When he lost Elon Musk's money, he didn't quit. He completely pivoted the company structure and found a new partner in Microsoft.
$10 billion later.
Right. And when he was literally fired by his own board, he didn't walk away. He mobilized his workforce and took his company back in a week.
He constantly adapts to the reality he is in rather than the one he originally wanted. And I want to encourage you to apply this to your own life.
It's the most valuable skill you can have right now.
Truly. Never be afraid to change your path to reach your ultimate goal. The original blueprint rarely survives contact with reality.
Yeah, rigidity is your biggest enemy in a world moving this fast.
Exactly. So to wrap up this incredible journey, we started in 2015 with a pure nonprofit dream meant to save the world from corporate greed.
A beautiful idea on paper.
But it crashed into the immense costs of building a digital god, and it transformed into a high-stakes billion-dollar corporate reality.
It's been quite the evolution. And I want to leave you with one final lingering thought to mull over today.
Lay it on us.
In 2015, the entire goal of OpenAI was to prevent one greedy company from owning the most powerful technology in human history.
Right.
But by doing whatever it took to survive, taking billions from a mega corporation, switching to for-profit, and ultimately ousting their safety-conscious board members, did they inadvertently become the exact type of monopoly they were originally created to protect us from?
That is the defining question of our time. Keep questioning things, stay adaptable out there, and we'll catch you next time.